everybody, I am Jandy the Artsy-Rose, and welcome back to Philippe's main story. Hold on. Okay, well, I've made it to the part where we should be getting the dark ending. As you can see, we're pretty much there. Now, let's see. Yes, I'm ready. Dark ending. Philippe's dark ending for Orlando. Philippe! I ran to him and held him in my arms, but his eyes did not open, and when I checked for breathing, there was none. No! There was no one else from me who dared make a sound. There was no one else aside from me who dared make a sound. He opened his eyes in Niflheim several days later, but something had happened to Philippe's body. Philippe was no longer alive, but nor was he one of the dead. So when I kissed his lips, he awoke, and then suddenly fell into a deep sleep. I'm sorry, Princess. I don't have any good results to give to you today. JJ's shoulders drooped, but I did not mean to form a conclusion anytime soon. Don't give up. He frowned in his own disapproval and his own disappointment, and I quickly responded, It's fine. I know you have other research you need to do, so thank you for finding the time. I'm grateful to you. It's no problem. I'm a scientist. How have you been recently, Philippe? There haven't been any changes to your body or excessive sleepiness. Well, I don't really have any memories of when I fell asleep. It's not so much sleepiness as it's like my ability to remember shuts down. Before I know it, I'm in bed again. It's my own body, and yet I don't know what's going on. I've never felt like this. I've never felt this impatient before. I think Jandy would be able to explain it better. Having had the conversation directed back at me, I wished in my mind that JJ's research might progress even a little. As I explained what I had observed, JJ readied his pen at his notebook, not wanting to miss a single word of my explanation. Let's see. It doesn't seem like he's gone to sleep, but more like a marionette who had their strings cut out. A marionette? Yes, if you cut the strings, they fall into a heap, right? That's the best way I could explain it. JJ looked even more confused. I think I'll look for materials that could tackle this from another angle. Thank you, Princess. I'm happy to help anytime. JJ bowed once and then left the room. It was like that every day. Maybe I should go and look through the library too. It wouldn't be fair to completely leave this to JJ. You're right. I have a few volumes that I've borrowed from the library. I'll read through those today and see if they give me any hints. My heart pained to see how sad he looked. I'll look too. Don't worry. My ability to never give up is a formidable thing. I announced to Philippe in a much more cheerful voice than usual and smiled for him. Sorrow ached across his face. Jandy. What is it, Philippe? No, it's nothing. My mind was so focused on other things that I failed to notice how strangely Philippe was acting. I borrowed several books from the library that sounded promising and headed back to Philippe's house. They're a bit heavy, but if we can find a hidden link somewhere in these books, I'm looking forward to that. I arrived at Philippe's house and went to open the door, as I usually did. I then realized someone else was there. I wonder who. I came to Philippe's room, wanting to get stuck into reading these books again as soon as possible. I borrowed a novel as well. Maybe he'd like to read it together with me. I was about to knock on the door when I heard Philippe talking to someone inside. The other voice belonged too. But who would accept these terms? Does she even know? Is that Orlando with him? And by she, does he mean me? Every time I wake up, she stares at me like she's about to cry from utter relief. So you want to escape from your guilt? No, Philippe paused for a moment, and I listened in carefulness. The number of hours I can manage to stay awake for is decreasing. No. I've developed a habit of watching the clock lately to see how many hours I can stay awake for. So you want me to take care of the princess for you? Huh? Pitiful. That doesn't sound like the attitude of a man who gives his life for her. No, who gave his own life for her. I heard Orlando's footsteps, and I quickly hid myself away in the shadows. He got into the carriage he had waited and left. Darn it. If there was anything I could do about it myself, I would have done it already. I heard Philippe's muttering voice, accompanied by the sound of a wall being struck with force. What was all that? I stood aimlessly in front of the door when I suddenly heard the sound of someone collapsing inside. It was Philippe. Philippe! I went up to him and gave him a shake, but his eyes remained closed. I immediately checked my own watch. It's 1 hour earlier than yesterday. I could not stop thinking about the conversation I had just heard. I placed a hand on his head, gently brushing aside his hair. But still, several months later. You were really into your studies today, Jandy. I'm impressed. Oh, are you going home already? I was about to leave the library with several mystical books in hand. Yes, no matter how much time we have, every moment is precious. He can't stay awake for more than a few hours now, can he? No, which is why I want to spend as many of his waking hours together as possible. So I'm going back now. Princess. There's no need to look like that. I've already decided that I will find a miracle, so I'll be just fine. I will never give up. I would not give up. I would never give up. I believe I can make it happen for as long as I keep moving forward. So that's what happens. I was actually afraid to hear what Orlando had to say if he were to speak with Philippe. I was afraid he was going to take the princess away, but I was actually kind of right. This is what Philippe was asking. He was... From what I understand from the last time, if you were to choose JJ, he would be requesting that JJ make a potion to erase the princess's memories of Philippe so she wouldn't have to suffer, so she wouldn't have to be sad about Philippe's pain while Orlando took care of her, possibly to rearrange the marriage between King Jean. Pardon me. And Orlando was actually disappointed in this guy. He was impressed with how Philippe waited 1,000 years to be reunited with Isabella, and he's appalled at him. He's disappointed that he's just giving up now. In one perspective, I can understand his perspective. I can understand Orlando's perspective. But I can also understand Philippe's. Well, darn it hurts. Darn right it hurts. Do you know how much I love you? Darn right it hurts. Do you know how much I love you? There is something about you, and no matter how many times I shout your name, show you my love, I'll save my love for you. Well, the next ending I need to get is the mystical ending, although that'll be a while. But it's worth it. It's really worth it. I am Janty the Artsy-Rose, and I will see you in the next video, which might be a month from here, which might be until the end of the month. Oh, I also have to get that line that I missed. Goodbye.